This week, our heroes wrap up Halloween 2020. We have a whale of a tale for you. And Baby Yoda, the Mandalorian, is back. All this and more on this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. Baby Yoda, baby Yoda. Baby Yoda, baby Yoda. Welcome to this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. We're good for your ears. I'm Dan, and you can find me everywhere at RFS Dan.
And I'm Jess, and you can find me at Gone to the Snow Dogs and Snow Dogs Vlogs.
So
I feel
funny.
like I should be whispering.
You should. Why are we whispering this episode? Is it November Whispers? Is it
Yeah,
No Yell November?
Kira is high as a kite because she got fixed today, and she's smush-faced into her bed right next to me because I didn't want her to be behind the green screen because then I couldn't see her, so I put her here. And then we've been talking for 20 minutes while waiting for her to fall asleep.
Half the podcast is over. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.
Yeah. So if you hear random dog whines during this podcast, she's fine. She's just high.
It's not a squeaky wheel.
It's not a squeaky wheel.
Aw, poor Kira. I've been there, Kira. I feel you. Been there.
She is so out of it.
Aw.
So out of it.
Well, at least that's
kinda,
over.
It's kind of nice. I've gotten stuff done.
How long until you know whether you have to apply the cone of shame or not?
She will probably have to wear her I bought her a surgical suit because I don't want to have to put her in the cone.
Right.
So she'll have a surgical suit first, and if that doesn't work, then I'll have to put her in the cone. So if I have to put her in the cone, I would know by tomorrow. She will wear the surgical suit to bed tonight, so I don't stay up all night making sure she's not licking at her incisions. So she was... And I'm going to do like a full video on this on Gone to the Snow Dogs where I'll go into way more detail than I will here. Here, I'm going to give you the short version of the story.
Okay.
She got spayed, which is normal. She got microchipped, which, she hadn't been microchipped, which I panicked about for the past year and a half. And then she also got a gastropexy. So she has 2 incisions on her belly, one really little one from where she got spayed, and then one that's a little bit larger from where she got the gastropexy. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's when they take the dog's stomach and they basically they attach it to the bottom of your I don't know how to explain that. They attach it, they staple it to the bottom, or they stitch it to the bottom of her belly. So
how come?
It's a preventative for bloat. A lot of people were asking me today because I posted about it. They're like, "Oh, is she having symptoms?" No, she wasn't having any symptoms of bloating. It's just a preventative. It doesn't. That's wrong too. It doesn't prevent bloating. There's still a chance she could bloat, but it drops the chance to next to nothing, and it makes it so that even if by chance she does bloat, because her stomach is now attached to the bottom of her belly, she won't be able to twist. So all of the other complications that come along with bloat hopefully won't happen.
Which you have had before. You've had plenty of instances of bloat, so you know.
Yeah.
So
this
isn't just random.
Yeah, Oakley bloated 3 times. Bloat is not common in Huskies. It is very common in large breed dogs like Great Danes and St. Bernards, which we had a St. Bernard that it happened to as well. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times, when big dogs get fixed, like Great Danes, St. Bernards, German Shepherds, vets will suggest to have this done as again, I'm going to call it a preventative, but that's probably not the right word because it's not like it's never going to happen.
Right.
So they'll suggest it for large breed dogs. They don't normally suggest it for smaller breed dogs, not for any other reason except for bloating is not common in Huskies. So most people have no idea that the option is even there to get it done. I knew it was there because I've experienced bloat before with my dogs, and I went through and did all the research, talked to our vet, I talked to a couple of vets actually, and there's no real side effects to having it done. So even though she has a very low risk of bloating in the first place because she's not a high risk dog for that, the surgery itself really doesn't put her at any more risk. She was already getting spayed, so she was already going to be under. It's really not that much harder to do while she's under. So I just decided to have it all done at once, and I'll have it all done on every dog I get from here on out.
Yeah,
that's all.
I'm with you on that because that was not fun times.
That was not fun times at all.
Fun times. Well, feel better, little Miss Kira. I'm just curious about the cone. Mouse is rowdy. Mouse is little Kira, just such a rowdy cat, and he and all the other cats just laid there. Didn't really bother him too much. He didn't really like chew on his stitches too much. Every now and then I caught him licking a little bit. I'd say stop, but not enough where I'm like, I'll put that cone on you.
Right.
I couldn't do it. I mean, now that he's healed, I should put it on him just to see what happens.
She's only like kind of, well, and again, I've been home for 5 hours with her.
Right.
She's only kind of looked at herself a couple of times like, what's going on down here? But other than that, it's been that glossy-eyed stare off into nowhere and the open mouth whine.
Right, at least until tomorrow.
Yeah, she should be feeling a lot better by tomorrow. The main side effects of the gastropexy is after surgery, because their stomach is now attached, they tend to be a little bit nauseous for about a week. So she's got some anti-nausea medication in case that happens, and we're just supposed to like feed her smaller meals, which we already do anyway, for about a week. And then she should pretty much be back to be able to do whatever she wants to do. And then 10 days from today, she should get her stitches out, hopefully. She'll go in to make sure that she can get them out.
Oh, okay. They don't dissolve.
No.
Oh, they're for real stitches.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
That's how my day went today.
Well, good luck, Kira. So, Jess, you've had a busy month of October, and it finished out with your super pumpkin extravaganza. Were you able to make 100 pumpkins this year?
So, we actually, Halloween day, we had 98. And we had pumpkins left, but we were all just pretty burnt out. Greg came over to help us set up, and we were talking about how we only had 98 pumpkins, and he's like, I can't do it. This is going to drive me crazy. I just can't do it. And I'm like, okay, carve another pumpkin. So he took one, and he carved another pumpkin, and then he's like, that's it. I can't do anymore. He's like, that 99's a number. And I said, you know what? Leave it at 99. Everything else in 2020 has gone wrong. Let's make it so we only have 99 pumpkins instead of 100 like we always do.
That's good reasoning.
That's kind of what I thought. And then my brother brought John Matthew over. He was supposed to bring him over the day before, but their washing machine decided to stop washing machining. So he had to go get a new washing machine because his was full, and they didn't end up coming over. So they came over on Halloween, and John Matthew carved a pumpkin. So he carved the 100th pumpkin.
All right, good. So everybody at home can stop twitching, including me. Because I was like, 99. I'm like, because I only got it through text. I wasn't talking to you on the phone. I'm like, what? There's got to be some strange story. Story to this.
And there it is.
I saw the photos. I thought you had really good pumpkins. Your pumpkins, like when you look through all the pages of pumpkins, because eventually maybe you'll publish a pumpkin book where it's just pictures of pictures of all the pumpkins throughout the years. When you get to
that would be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool because you have a lot of photos. But
yeah.
I wonder if you realize, as much as I did looking at 2020 of your pumpkins, how satirical they are. Is that what that's called? For the times.
Yes.
Like a lot of them had Karens on there, which
yep.
I hate saying that word. There was COVIDs on there. There was like little smiley faces with the masks on. It really told a tale of what was going on. And some people are like, why would you do that on the pumpkin? That might be insensitive. Well, when you look back on 30, 40, 50, 100 years from now of like, I guess they're going to call it the time of the plague or whatever they call it, or, I don't know what they're going to call it, but that shows those times, We went back and forth. I mean, we really went back and forth about whether or not we were even going to do this or not. And then when it came down to it, it had a lot to do with, my neighbors asking and their kids asking and the tradition of Halloween. And I'm like, you know what? We're doing it. We're doing this. People can come to our house. They can be respectful, which they were. I said, we're just going to go forward and do it. And then when we were thinking about what we should do, every year when we carve pumpkins, we always try to have something, whatever's popular for that year. Right. So like we had some Among Us pumpkins this year. There was, I don't even remember because we had so many pumpkins. But there were things that we tried to make sure to have because it was what was happening or popular for the year. And we went back and forth about whether or not to do the COVID pumpkins. And then I finally thought, you know what? If we can't have a little bit of fun on Halloween with this, then humanity is lost forever. Because sometimes you just have to. So we did Karen. We had some COVID pumpkins. Greg carved Ralph, and it said, I'm in danger. Oh, yeah, I like that. That was cool, too. Yeah.
And we put that right next to the COVID pumpkins because we thought it was funny.
Right, it's telling a story.
And that was kind of what we wanted to do with it. We had planned to, we almost, and then we changed our mind. We were actually, because one of the pumpkins, we had that little pumpkin with the actual mask on it. Some of them had masks carved on them, but one of them had an actual mask on it, which by the end of the night, the mask had fallen down below half of its face. But we had actually discussed taking 3 little pumpkins and having one wearing a mask correctly, one wearing the mask below its nose, and then one wearing a chin diaper, and then putting Pandemic Special from South Park to make a South Park joke.
Right. Yeah. Everything looked really, really, really good. So no, it didn't snow.
It did not snow until the next morning. We had an amazing turnout. I mean, I would say we had last year we had less of a turnout because it did snow and rain the entire time. But I would say we probably had at least as many people as last year, but they were much more spread out, and not just because everybody was trying to stay social distanced. I felt like instead of getting that massive rush at 7 o'clock that we were used to, it really spread out. We still had people showing up to the house at 5 minutes to midnight. There were still people.
Wow, okay. They were going to let that die.
We had a few people that showed up at, way later on, and they're like, oh yeah, we drove by at 8 o'clock, and there was quite a few people, and there was people waiting, so we knew we could come back, so they came back later. So I think that's kind of what happened throughout the night. People drove by and then came back, and it was nice. I had a lot of people coming up to me and thanking us. I had a lot of parents thanking us for doing it. They were telling us, the one lady that came up to me and was talking to me, she almost made me cry. She told us that we were her kids' tradition, that they've been coming to our house. We've been doing this for 18 years, but they've been coming ever since we started doing it at this house. So it would be 9 years? Yeah, 9 years at this house. And she said she has brought her kids here every year for the past 9 years. That's cool. And her one kid is like 17 years old now, and he still comes with them to our house for Halloween. That we have become their tradition. And I'm like, that I don't know why that just made me feel so good. I'm like, it's a tradition for us, but to know that we're actually somebody else's holiday tradition, I don't know, it made me really happy that we went forward and did it this year.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be a big Halloween. There was no pumpkins left. There was no carving kits left. There was no sign of anything at the stores the day before Halloween in my town. Like, everything was just off the shelves because that's all we have right now. That's a little bit of normalcy. There's a little bit of normalcy. So that being said, I did not get one trick-or-treater. I did not see one kid. I did not see anybody in costume. I was the only person that was in costume. I did not see at all. Blake's mom. Her house has a full trick-or-treat. It was turned into a fortress. I showed you the picture. It was turned into a fortress. They had a full-on haunted house in their house, and Blake didn't even tell me. I didn't even get to go over there and go through it. I could have gone through there. I was dressed up and everything. And I was like, "What are you doing for Halloween?" My mom says I gotta stay home and pass out candy or whatever. And then that's all he told me. And then I drive up there on Monday morning, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, are they spraying for bugs or something?" No, it was a whole fortress. There was something out of The Walking Dead. It was crazy. So they had a full-on event going, and they had some people. I didn't see anybody at all. I was hoping during DANtics, because I did a Halloween episode of DANtics. I was hoping during DANtics somebody would show up at the door. I was hoping maybe to be an adult or something that I could get them hey, come here, and then we could get them to come in and do a bit or something like that. Nothing. I didn't see anything.
Yeah, we had a lot of people. Some of my neighbors said that they definitely had a lot less people, but the neighborhood around the corner from us, I have a friend that lives over there, and she said, what did she say? They had 240, which is about what they had last year. So
okay, right.
I guess people, but I had a handful of people that seemed to be upset that we went ahead with Halloween, and I had to remind them that we live in the middle of nowhere. And I'm not saying that that doesn't mean that we're not at risk, but we live in the middle of nowhere. There have been 145 cases since COVID started in our entire county. So, it's not like we live in these big cities where there's lots of people and there's all these cases. We're kind of all alone up here. So we still went forward with it.
That's so cool. I stayed home and did a live episode of DANtics. Thank you for all of you that came out. It was record high numbers, for an episode without you in it, Jess.
I missed it.
You missed it all. I dressed up like Dracula. I put those teeth in.
I did see it.
I put those teeth in, and I kept them in for the full 2 hours. I'll tell you, those $30 teeth at the Party City, those things work really well. I had my Nosferatu ears with my like $10 little like vampire setup. It was so much fun. I made a spinning wheel on the screen, so when people would call in, it would spin on a color, and that's the Bean-Boozled bean I would eat, and that was super fun. And a lot of people showed up, and I was Halloween for a lot of people. I was.
Yeah? Good.
Yeah, I had a bunch of stupid vampire jokes and a bunch of Halloween jokes, and yes.
I saw it for about 5 minutes when I went downstairs, because we had you on the TV in the basement, and it was about 5-10 minutes. I ran down there and ate, and I saw it for 5 minutes. Like I said, 5 to 10 minutes. So I saw you on the screen. I saw you all dressed up, and everybody else that was inside was watching you. So they all enjoyed your show.
It was fun. Jess, what is a vampire's favorite ice cream?
I don't know.
It's vanilla. It was that bad. They were that. I had like 10 or 12 of them that I spread out, and like every 10 minutes I'd be like, next joke. It was so bad.
Great.
I had so much fun, which makes me want to dress up for the next holiday.
I was gonna say for the next DANtics.
For the next DANtics, no, for the next holiday. So I'm gonna come.
You could be Santa. What day does Santa Day? Santa Day. What day does Christmas fall on this year?
Christmas is on the 25th, right? Christmas falls on a Friday.
It's on a Friday.
Ooh, which means I could do a Saturday episode, because people are going to be busy on Friday, but I could do a Saturday episode. We'll see.
You could dress up as Santa.
Yeah, that'd be so funny. Oh, no. I can just see it now. Oh, my gosh. You guys are going to have to let me know. You guys are going to have to let me know what to do.
Right.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I did that. I did like 3 days of live streaming, so I was pretty worn out. I was pretty worn out on Sunday on the first of the month. You know what I did watch? So the last of the Halloween talk, I guess, and we're done. I watched Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, did you?
Oh my gosh.
With Audrey too.
It is my favorite musical out of all of them.
Yeah?
Yeah, no CG. Everything's practical. They did so well. It was so funny. It was super funny. Dude, that thing started eating. It was killing people.
Feed me, Seymour.
Feed me. It was killing people. Steve Martin was over the top. Oh my gosh, he was over the top being a dentist and stuff.
Have you never seen it?
My sister loves
that's
it.
So great.
And when I was younger, I remember it being on a little bit, so I know of it. It wasn't the first time I'm like, whoa, what's this visual spectacle? No, but it was the first time that I watched it and followed the show and stuff with Rick Moranis and stuff. And it's Audrey too, because the girl's name was Audrey. So it was like stuff like that, like, oh, I didn't get that, but it was funny. And oh my gosh, I don't know how the animatronics or whatever worked, but they got that suit. The bigger it got, the more the more animation it had. And one time the backup sceners were the little fly trap things, and it was great. I loved it. I enjoyed it better than any of the other musical things I've watched.
Even Sweeney Todd?
Yes and no. Yes, because like I feel like Sweeney Todd was like, whoa, ooh, oh. This one I felt was like, all right, we're like having fun, and then it swallowed something that we're having fun. No, they were equally as good to me. Like I was really happy with Sweeney Todd as well. Like
one is more of like a drama, and the other one's a comedy.
Yes. The Sweeney Todd was still a movie. This one played like sets of a play. Like if you were to go to the play, the way the sets were. So I like that practicality too. So I liked them both. Them both. But oh my gosh, it was such a good movie. It was such a good movie. Can I spoil the end of it?
I mean, I've seen it.
At the end, when they blow up Audrey 2, it explodes like the Death Star. For like a whole minute, it's like exploding like the Death Star. I'm like, I was yelling no. I was actually yelling out loud, like, no! No, I need a spin-off show. They should have a spin-off show where just that attitude and that plant, or like, I don't know, it runs a donut shop or something, and the customers come in, and, you know, he eventually gets into a fight with it. No donuts for you, and then he eats them. I don't know. I loved Little Shop of Horrors. I thought it was great.
I'm glad you finally watched it.
I did, yeah. I thought it was great, so I did like that. All right, and that is it. Oh my gosh, that's it for Halloween. I carved a Dan pumpkin. Oh no, Crystal did, but we nailed the Dan pumpkin.
I did see that. I saw the Dan pumpkin.
I gotta thank you. I learned how to pass down these Dremel skills from you.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, when we saw that, I said that. I'm like that. I watched your live stream of you guys baking and carving pumpkins, and I think I fell asleep or I shut it off or whatever. Right when she started carving the pumpkin, because I remember I made sure to type, I think you're underestimating how much of a mess that's going to make.
You were correct. It was like, It was like spatter. It was like
Yep.
all over our white cabinets and everything.
You like
and stuff,
grab
but
your shirt and shake your shirt, and it's like orange dust.
Sawdust, yeah. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, though.
Good.
And thus ends Halloween 2020.
Now it's time for seasonal depression.
Is that what November's called? Happy seasonal depression.
Somebody posted that. I don't know if it was Twitter or Facebook. It said something like that, and it had like a sad pumpkin face, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
I love it. Oh man! And it's time for daylight savings, which this year it always happens like a day or two after Halloween. I don't
It was
know
the
why.
day after
It always is.
Halloween.
I've been complaining for years that it's been like, why can't you do it the weekend before, so that way we can have another hour of Halloween party time?
So that
You
it can
know?
be dark when kids are trick-or-treating. We
Right.
don't need it to be dark when kids are trick-or-treating.
But that's the whole point.
I know. That's why people don't come to my house till it's like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, because it's not dark and you can't see the
Well,
pumpkins.
if you're gonna get run over by a car, like I can't help you.
Yeah, right.
I can't.
Don't run out in
I
traffic.
can't help you on that one. Hey, this daylight saving times, I don't get it, Jess. My crappy Fitbit watch automatically updated the time, but I'm rolling
Yeah.
around in my Jeep going like, I'm late, or I'm early, I don't know, I can't even tell.
Yep.
My Jeep didn't change its own time. What am I paying
Yeah.
you for, Jeep? Oh my
And
gosh.
Arizona is the only state that got it right.
Yeah, they opted out.
That was when we lived in Arizona. That was the greatest thing, that they don't do daylight savings time. There's no point to it anymore. And I was going to look it up because we were talking about it with Greg, I think it was, that originally it was started, and I don't know if this is true, but this is what we thought. Originally it was started for farmers.
Right, that's what I
to
heard
help
as well.
give farmers more time. And then the reason they kept it was then they switched it to, well, it makes it so the kids don't have to get on the bus in the dark. So they kept it, and that was the reason they used for keeping it. And now I have no idea why we still do daylight savings time. It doesn't make any sense. Why does it need to? It's 6 o'clock. It's pitch black outside. Why does it need to be dark at 6 o'clock?
I agree. Yeah, so it's kind of weird. It's kind of
Not very many people get up at 5 and 6 in the morning.
No.
And if they do, they're going to work, so they
Right.
don't need it to be light out anyway.
Yeah, it messes me up for a little bit because I don't just let it go. I do that thing where it's like, well, it's 3 o'clock, but it's really 4 o'clock. Or,
Yes, I do the same thing.
it was
I'm
almost
like, why
midnight.
does it
I'm
feel
like
like
it's
this?
1 in the morning. We need to go to bed.
Yes.
Yes. Yep. So yeah, thanks daylight savings for messing up and the cats come up to me and they're like, ah, and I'm like, no, you have 1 more hour.
Yep,
And they're like,
the dogs
no,
are
my
the same
stomach
way.
says no.
Yep.
Yeah, we need to be fed now. So they're not adjusting too well.
Yep, my dogs are the exact same way. They're like, food time now, because it's supposed to be now.
I have this little blurb in here. Ocean spray guy raking it in. And I say this with love, dude, because you get every penny you can. I am so sick and tired of this ocean spray guy. He is selling it. How many videos have you seen him in? The other day he was coming out of A&W on a skateboard eating whatever turkey thing. The other day he was at a gas station doing like I think he's just going around just like, hey, I'm the ocean spray guy. I don't know, give me X amount of money and I'll film a 15-second blurb of your gas station, of your convenience store, of your fast food restaurant, of me, reenacting the ocean spray thing. And I can't get that stupid song out of my head. It's come around
The
full
Fleetwood
circle
Mac
where I was
song.
glad it's back, and now I'm sick of it again. But no, I don't wish nothing on that guy. Like, good for you. Like, you better get your 15 minutes right now because there might be, Baby Yoda's coming. So you got to get that in right
Baby
now.
Yoda's already back.
Right, so he's already obsolete then.
Have you not watched it yet?
Actually, right before we started this podcast, I watched The Mandalorian.
Did you? Good. Okay.
I did. So Ocean Spray guy, you get it, but holy cow, there's some of these video qualities are really poor, but he's got it. He's getting paid.
Yeah, and he's having a good time.
He's having a good time. I do see that he's having a good time in everything.
He's having a good time.
But he's made his round. He's made his rounds.
Yep.
He's made his rounds like the winner of
has.
American Idol.
He definitely has.
Oh my gosh. Do you want to talk about Mandalorian or do you want to talk about the derailing train?
The one that was caught on the whale's tail?
Did you see that? We're talking about that. Did you see that? This was like in Denmark or something. It was Dutch. A Dutch train narrowly escaped disastrous fate when a sculpture of a whale tail, a real whale tail, people.
A real whale tail.
A real whale tail. The train went off the edge a little bit of this, because it's up high there. And there's these whale tail sculptures, and it just, landed on the sculpture. What the heck?
I didn't read the article, but I saw all the photos that were being posted all over the place. And I'm like, that's kind of interesting. So, like, maybe you can enlighten me. Is that where it parks or something? And it just went off? Or is there like a turn there?
From what I can tell, it just went off the edge straight. Like it was supposed to stop and it went through the barrier. So like out here at the Metro, we have the Metro Link that goes around through all of LA and stuff. And the last stop is here. So if you keep on trucking along, you've passed the end of the stop. I do believe it was that. I didn't like when I was reading it, it just says they weren't exactly sure what happened, but it went off the edge. So I'm thinking that it just passed its stop. And it didn't have. I don't know if it had anybody in it, but if it did, it had a few people in it because the reports say that if it was fully loaded, it'd be trouble.
That's so crazy.
Right. So I was trying to look. They said an investigation is underway to determine what caused the stop block failures. There you go. So the stop block at the end failed to catch it. So
stop the train.
Right.
And it got caught by a whale. That's a whale of a tail.
It is a whale. It is a whale of a tail, Jess. Everybody. But what a photo.
Right?
What a photo. That's every newspaper was done for the day. They're like, there's our front page. There's our front page. But I thought that was so crazy. It was 30 feet above a bunch of water, which it was just going to keep on going off into probably some homes.
Yeah.
Beautiful Dutch homes. There was a train conductor of 45 years says, I can say I've never seen anything like this in my 45 years. Well, yeah. Yeah, sir. Yeah, so, oh my gosh.
I hope you haven't ever seen anything like that. I mean, why would... Okay, yeah,
We've had some bad ones out here. We have the Metrolink that goes from my town down to Union Station and back, and not too long ago, maybe a handful of years ago, because I used to ride that all the time. You'd get a $10 weekend pass, and you'd hop on it. You'd go down to LA, Little Tokyo's down there, Vera Street's down there. You get your drink on, get some sushi, hang out with your buddies, hop back on the train, and sober up on the way home. Right. And that was for a summer, man, a long time ago. I made vlogs on it. For a summer, I went down there a lot. And then one of the dudes was texting on his phone and didn't see the, like, don't go thing. And so, like, he head-on collided with another Metrolink. That was brutal. So I'm just like, dang, I'm so lucky I've never been on in a train wreck. There was a guy that came into the bike shop that I've told you guys about, was my favorite customer, who had been a Metro line guide and a train guy for Amtrak, a conductor for 40, 50 years or whatever, and talking about every stop from here down to there, he's run into something. Right. And he had all these interesting stories that were all tragic, but really interesting. But apparently there's a lot more train crashes than you know. People, it's 10 feet. Why? Just could you not go there?
I don't think we have any trains that run on tracks up here that are like people trains,
like commercial.
I think
pedestrian.
Yeah, I think all the trains that we have haul like the cement, because we have a big cement plant here, and logs and things like that. But we've had a couple train derailments where they've come off the tracks. We had one downtown, close to downtown on 9th Avenue, that hit a car because the car just decided to keep going even though there was a train coming. Get it. Yep, and the train hit a car. And then the other thing we have, and it doesn't happen often, and I'm sure you guys probably have it out there too, we had a train actually less than a mile from my house. It was so dry that when the tires were sparking, it actually created a brush fire not too far from my house.
I have not heard of that.
Yeah, it sparked and it caught all the brush off the side of the road on fire, and it actually caused, like, it wasn't a forest fire, but it caused a bunch of trees in a neighborhood back here to catch on fire. So we've had that happen. And the derailments, we've had them derail and tip over. Because our trains, they go into Lafarge, which is the big quarry. You know, we have the Lafarge World Headquarters is here, and they make cement and all kinds of things like that. So they fill up those cars, and they're, like, heaping, and it's rock. So when the trains leave town, they move really slow, but if you watch them, they just go back. And you'll see little bits of rock fall off the top here and there.
Oh,
and
no.
And you can watch if they just start going too fast and those cars rock just a little too much, it just creates that whole poof, and then they fall over.
Oh, that's so crazy.
It doesn't happen often. They're usually pretty good about it, but we've seen it happen quite a few times. That's usually what happens here with trains. We don't have any trains that go into the water or almost into the water or get caught by whales.
Right, get saved by Free Willy's butt.
No.
I still want to put the coins, and I tried to do that when we were up in Mackinac, or when I was by your area.
we were in Trout Lake when you did that.
Yeah, I just really want a coin that's been smushed by a train that I made myself, but I still have that little irrational fear that it's like,
derail the train?
Man-child derails train with nickel. News at 11. And like, I put the nickel down there. I'm standing there clapping, yay! And then the train just goes by. The conductor dude's just disappointingly shaking his head as everything's just piling up for a half an hour.
Right.
I'm scared, but I want one of those. I really want to smush money. I want to know if it really happens.
It really happens.
I know, but I need to see it with my eyes.
Well, one day you're gonna have to make that
One day,
happen.
yeah. One day I'm going to have to. I've said it before. I took a train from California to New York twice.
You've told us that before.
Time. And you know what? Didn't derail.
No. I've never been. I've been on like a train at the zoo.
But
I don't think I've ever been on a train, like an actual. There's a couple trains. There's a big train thing you can do up by Tequamanon Falls. We didn't take you to that waterfall, but up in the UP, there's like a whole like tuner trolley train thing that goes around by the waterfall and back through the woods up there, and you can do like fall color tours. But I've never been on it.
That's kind of cool. I'm okay with trains. I don't like gondolas. Is that what that's called? I don't
the ones
like
that hang and have the tracks.
Nope. There's always some jerk face on there that thinks it's funny to shake it, and I'm not having.
Oh, I don't like that.
I don't like that at all. I don't like those things at all.
It's like Ferris wheels when you get on the Ferris wheel and they shake the thing.
That's okay because it's set to like swing like that. When I'm hanging on this little gondola thing, I don't know. I don't want to shake it. I don't like those at all. They make me really nervous, and so do the chairlifts at like ski resorts and stuff. That makes me.
Never been on one of those.
I only have once because I've only been once, and when I was there, I was not happy. I was holding on.
Yeah, right.
I was holding on. There's some horror movie called 10 Feet Up or something like that, and it stops, and then the park shuts down for the night, and everybody's stuck up on there, and like
no thank
overnight
you.
It's like a horror movie, and like and the guy jumps down.
No thanks.
Yeah, so I don't like the up high stuff, but the train I'm okay on. I'm okay with the train.
I would go on a train. They should let my dogs on the train. I'd go on a train.
Oh yeah, they would here for sure. Nobody says anything. If Snoop Dogg can ride the train, so can Memphis Dog.
Right.
So
she's out. I got her over here on one bed completely out, and the other one is still smush face down.
Oh, which is good because I was a little concerned that you were going to be running around just chasing them like, no, and she's going to be squeak, 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 squeak.
No, today's going to be the good day. Today's going to be the day where she'll do a lot of sleeping, and she's not going to do a whole lot. So I'll actually be able to get some work done.
What happens with Memphis? Like, so Memphis comes home and like Memphis has got a smell. Like, hey, like all I could do is smell what's going on. Like, what does she say?
So when I left this morning, Memphis was extremely upset because I'm taking a picture of her because she's upside down and she's cute. She was extremely upset when I left, and I think a lot of it had to do with I put Kira's collar on and I put her leash on, and then we went and got in the car. So Memphis thought, we're going for a ride. But we weren't. I mean, she was, but she wasn't. Yeah. So I felt really bad. So when I left, Memphis was freaking out. Kira apparently didn't want to be in the car by herself because we got 2 blocks from the house and she started to freak out. She was trying to jump over in the back seat, and I'm going, what are you doing? Like, you've never been in a car before. And I know we haven't been in my car in a while, but she was not happy. She was not happy that she was there by herself. Every little noise, the wind in the windows, as soon as we got up to 55 miles an hour, she was like freaking out. And I told Jamie, I'm like, I don't know if it was that you weren't in the car or if it was that Memphis wasn't in the car, because the car was set up like it always is when we take them. We made sure last night to take everything out of it, laid the seats down, put the bed in there so that when I picked her up, I could just put her in the car and bring her home. She was not very happy.
No, the numbers are off. The numbers are off.
Yeah. So I took her there, came back home. When I came back home, Memphis immediately thought, why didn't you bring her back? And I'm like, oh, great, here we go. Now I didn't bring the dog back. So I decided to spoil Memphis a little bit, and I took her to the pet store, and we picked out a toy for Kira and then a bag of treats. And then, because Memphis isn't really a toy dog, so I didn't pick her out a toy. And then we went to Home Depot because I needed to get air filters for my humidifier. So I actually took Memphis to Home Depot because they're letting dogs in there again. My Home Depot allows pets, not just service dogs.
Dude, your Home Depot's empty. Every time we go in there, it is empty. It's a full-size Home Depot. Full-size Home Depot with 14 people in it, maybe. Maybe. So
the nice thing about it, the manager there allows pets. And a lot of Home Depots do, but always call ahead and ask and find out. Our Home Depot does, and then in Traverse City, Hobby Lobby does, and so does Michael's. They allow pets. But I always call and ask. Because it's up to the manager's discretion, so not all of them do. Ours does. Anyway, I took her in there, and we walked into where, like, the return area is, and COVID is happening. So Memphis has been deprived of people because we haven't been doing expos and we haven't really been traveling a lot. So we walked in there, and everybody behind the desk come walking over to her, and I swear I stood right inside the door of Home Depot for 10 minutes while everybody petted her.
That's a lot of people's first public dogs too.
Yeah, so she was super excited to be in the store, and then we walked through all the Christmas stuff, and then I got the filters that I needed, but I couldn't just spend 5 minutes in the store. So we made one big lap around the outside of the store, and then we walked up and down a bunch of aisles, and then we walked backwards the other way. So by the time we left the store, she was mentally exhausted because there was people and smells and things. And when we got home, when we got home, she was much happier. And then it wasn't much longer after that they called me and told me to come get Kira. So when I brought Kira home, I got a little bit of footage when I got home of Memphis, like, sniffing every little inch of her, like, why do you smell different here? And what are you doing here? She hasn't figured out that she has an incision yet, but she was sniffing all of her shoulders where you could tell, like, other people had touched her.
Oh, right.
Memphis was like, I recognize these people. I know that lady. Speaking of, my vets come to the house on Halloween, and I actually had Memphis and Kira out front to see somebody when they showed up. And Dr. Ryan did Kira's surgery, but Dr. Danielle walked up to Memphis, and she was all dressed up, and she had a mask on. So at first Memphis was just like, oh, look, another person. And then all of a sudden you could tell that Memphis, like, recognized her smell. And she's flipped out, completely flipped out. She loves Dr. Danielle. Dr. Danielle thought it was great. She's like, she remembers me. I'm like, yeah, she loves you.
Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute.
But yeah, when Kira got home, Memphis definitely had to give her the once over. And now it's like, when Kira's going outside, she has to be on a leash because she's not allowed to run around and she's not allowed to do a bunch of activities. So it's kind of funny because Memphis is, like, staying right next to her, where normally she's like, get away from me. I don't want to play with you. Now she's like, I'm a little bit concerned for you. Maybe I'll let you be close to me.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know that they know, but they know. They know something's going on. Memphis knows she doesn't feel good. Memphis knows something's happening. So, but they're both asleep right now.
Yeah,
so
it's not preventing them from sleeping.
No, thank goodness.
So Jess, The Mandalorian, our thumbnail topic of the week.
Oh, is it? I thought it was going to be a whale's tail.
Ooh, yeah. You know what? It could be.
I have no idea.
It could be.
That's for future me to worry about.
So The Mandalorian is back, and I really enjoyed the first season of The Mandalorian. Did you?
Yes.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and then I got instantly burned out of Baby Yoda. And hear me out before you guys turn me off.
Yeah, hear him out. Dan's an old man.
Hear me out. No. Hear me out. I like Baby Yoda just fine on television, but I don't need Baby Yoda in real life. I don't need all the plastic figures. I don't need the oversaturation of it. I don't need a Pinterest hand-sewn doll of Baby Yoda. I don't need a plastic Baby Yoda puppet thing that goes on your shoulder that they have at Disneyland that the Disneyland live streamers walk around with. I don't like it. It just looks like a bald gremlin. I don't like it. I like Baby Yoda in every other sense. In the show, that's fine. Keep it on the screen. What happens in Mandalorian should stay in Mandalorian. That's all I'm going to say. So, I'm like, oh my gosh, when am I going to watch it? Because I knew you'd watched it already, and I needed to watch it for the podcast. So we watched it right before we podcasted. Blake and I did, and I'm going like, what happened? So I went to YouTube and I watched a 7-minute recap video. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, fine. Then I put it on. I'm like, all right, time to get into this again. 2 minutes and I'm sucked in already. I'm like, This is great. I love this. Yeah, so I really liked it. What'd you think?
I loved it. It was funny because we didn't have time to watch it before Halloween because of everything going on. Mm-hmm. The minute my dad showed up, because, my mom and dad came over for Halloween, my dad goes, did you watch Mandalorian? And I'm like, no. And he goes, oh, I won't spoil it. I won't spoil it for you. He goes, it says the end at the end. Thanks, Dad.
It was good. We'll try not to spoil it. I like the show because, one, Favreau's a genius. He's one of my favorites. He's so good at what he does. He's so good. He did not write this episode, but he brought this show, to life. Right. I enjoy seeing things like the Sand Raiders and the Jawas get used more than just what we saw in just the old trilogy. Giving them some sort of life, personalities, backgrounds.
Yes.
You know, in Star Wars, everything's, some of it's great, but pretty much it's bad or good. Good or bad, bad or good,
Right.
good or bad. You know, the Tusken Raiders, we've always seen them, oh, they're bad, you know, whatever, they're crazy, they're you know, and
Right.
you know, and then in the Mandalorian and stuff like that, they're around here and there, and you have to come across them and deal with them, negotiate with them. So it was cool to see things in the show get more characters, get more fleshed out, get more like reason to care or dislike them.
Right.
You know, they're using D-list characters that, you know, they still got an action figure back in the day, but they weren't
Right.
used for anything, you know, like the guards in Return of the Jedi that were just sitting there watching Luke. At least they get more play. And so I'm really happy that they're taking things, and they're not exactly having to put new characters in there, but they're taking
Right.
characters that didn't get enough playtime or didn't get enough love or didn't get enough explanations, and they're bringing that in a story that plays out so well. It's like episodic or whatever it is, where it's like pretty much every episode contains its own episode with a little bit of through stream to all the other episodes. You know, there's like a through
Yes.
story. But I do like how it's like, I don't know, it reminds me of like an adventure, like a 1 hour, I don't think it's an hour, it's like a 1 hour adventure.
Right. Do you like that Disney only releases one episode a week as they do this?
Yes and no. I love binge watching. I love closing everything on a Friday night and not coming out of my cocoon until Monday morning, trying to figure out whether I can watch one more episode before I go to bed. There's plenty
Right.
of shows like that. When The Mandalorian ended, I was going, please let 2 come up. Even though I think I know that it's week to week, please let 2 come up. For this particular show, I'm okay for week to week, so I can get excited each week.
Yep.
But as long as you still give me some things that are all there, not for Mandalorian, but for my other shows, then for this, I'm okay. I don't want everything to go back to week to week. What do you think?
I really like the week to week format.
Right.
And I think the reason I like it is because of the way I watch television, because I don't watch as much as you. I don't watch that much. And I feel like the way it's week to week, I actually am able to keep up with it.
Right.
You know, I'm able to go from week to week to week and not be behind everybody else, or 6 weeks
That's
out.
a very good
and,
point.
You know, like everybody else has watched it, but I haven't seen it yet. So I kind of like the week to week. I like that it gives me something to look forward to each week.
Yeah, you're right, because right now we're all caught up.
Yep.
And I only
we're all
had
caught
to
up.
invest, an hour. So yeah, and I don't want that for everything, but like this
Right.
would be good. Like Game of Thrones. I hated the year in between the Game of Thrones. It would all fall out of my simple brain. I'd have to put it back in there a few episodes later. I would watch an episode on Sunday, and then like next week I'm like, oh, what happened again? So for Game of Thrones, because they're so wordy and everybody's got such a similar name and stuff, I wanted it to be mushed into one big ball for me, so I didn't
Right.
have to, so I could consume it all and not have to check out. But this Mandalorian thing is good, especially the way they format the show, where some of the other shows, even like Game of Thrones, there's one thing it's the story every week. This thing,
Right.
this week, and I won't spoil it for too much, they pretty much, no, I'm saying it, they, cover your ears if you don't want to hear this part, they pretty much did Tremors. This was a Tremors episode. It was, I don't know if you ever saw the movie
Yeah.
Tremors or heard of the movie Tremors. It was
Yeah.
Tremors. They showed up. It was them too, just like the Tremors people. It was a Tremors episode. So I like that. When I'm done, I'm satisfied. On to the next whatever story that they're going to take from. Because these stories aren't original
Right.
stories. They're just repackaged Star Wars stories with the Yoda theme.
Exactly.
So I like the way they format the show, makes it easy to be able to watch it week to week and feel like
Yes.
you have a beginning and a mini end to every
A
episode.
mini end, yes.
A mini end to every episode. I like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I liked it. I really liked it. I'm excited to watch the next episode.
Yeah,
I don't
me
know
too.
When it comes out, but
I thought they were Fridays. I thought they were like Thursdays at midnight or so. No, or was it Sundays at midnight to Mondays? I don't recall when the new.
if that
ones
was it,
ended.
then episode 2 should have been up for you already.
Oh, it's not. Oh, mine only says episode 1. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, I have no idea, so I don't know when the next one comes out.
Yeah, I just put releases on there. It's Friday, October 30th. Okay, so so it must come out every Friday then.
Right.
So yeah, okay,
Right.
so like Thursday at midnight, they're out or something like that, or 9:00 for us. Sometimes we get the piggyback off of your guys. This is from the future's
Right,
time. And we
right.
get stuff at like 9:00. Especially like Nintendo
weird.
Switch updates and stuff like that. We always get it a few hours earlier.
Right.
Yep, it's on Disney Plus. So I check it out. I don't know if Disney Plus is giving away free trials right now. I don't think they can afford to.
I don't know, but realistically, for what is it, $6.99 a month?
I piggyback off my family's Disney Plus. So
Oh, I hear an echo now.
do you? Did I get too close?
I don't know.
Maybe I got too close to
That
the
was
microphone.
weird.
But it's only there's a lot of good stuff on. There's a lot of good stuff on Disney Plus.
Yes, there really is.
Yes.
What did I watch the other day? I watched some Amelia Earhart documentary.
You're
Mount
always
Everest.
watching
Don't get into the Mount Everest documentary.
No,
Don't
I
do
watched the K2 movie and
Just don't do
boy,
it.
was that so crazy. I watched.
They all end the same way.
Oh right, yeah. Don't stay on the ground, people. Stay on the
Yeah.
ground. I watched 10 Things I Hate About You's on there. It's such a good one with Heath.
I watched Toy Story 4 again the other day because I carved a pumpkin for Halloween that had Forky on it.
Had Forky on it?
I'm
Aw.
trash. And every time I looked at it, I kept saying that. And then I think it was Halloween night when I went to bed. I turned on Toy Story 4.
Oh, I still have to see 3 and 4. I know who Forky is though. Like I know. Yes, I know.
Oh my gosh, 4 is so sad.
I watched 1 and 2. I heard 3 was sad too.
3 was sad. 4 was really sad because when you get to the end of it, they really, really explain to you that this is the end. There's not going to be a Toy Story 5. This is the end.
They
This
said
is
that about
it.
3.
This is where the story ends.
I don't want to. Up ruined me now. I don't want to see any of that stuff.
No, it's not sad like that. Up is sad in a totally different way. A totally different way.
Yeah, that
Toy
was,
Story
like,
4 is
depressing.
sad because, like, Toy Story was... When Pixar films came out and Pixar started making films, like, as I watched more and more and more films and had to be like, well, what would be my favorite Pixar film? Toy Story is my favorite Pixar film.
Really? Toy Story?
1 is my favorite of all the Pixar films. I really liked Bug's Life a lot.
Okay.
So it would probably be like Toy Story, then Bug's Life, then Monsters, Inc. Those would be my top 3.
Wow, really? Wow.
Yeah, I liked Cars a lot.
That's
but
my number 1.
no, it's Toy Story, then Bug's Life, then Monsters, Inc.
I like
Bug's
Cars.
Life was really... I like Cars, too.
Cars made
Bug's
me
Life was
laugh
really
a
good, too, though.
lot.
Where's the line?
I think the first remake of a Pixar movie is going to be Toy Story.
God, I hope not.
I think so. Oh, when I say remake, I mean like upres.
Yeah, that wouldn't
I
be...
think so.
Ah,
It's
wouldn't be
bad.
bad.
It is bad. If you guys watch it now, like you're going like, wow, was that made on
Comparatively?
like calculator? Yeah, it was bad.
and Slinky Dog is still my favorite character. In
you
Toy
like
Story.
Slinky Dog?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. I like the
Yep.
shark because he had Woody's hat on. He's like, hody, 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 there's a snake in my boots. Like that made me laugh so hard. Somebody poisoned the water hole.
My neighbor up the road
That was cute too.
was my favorite Halloween costume. Like, because every year when people come to the house, I always have a favorite Halloween costume. Usually there's something really creative. This year, nope. My neighbor up the road, who is actually my friend, one of my friend that passed away, it's his little brother.
Mm-hmm.
He came with his kids and he was dressed up as Woody, and he had like he had the cowboy hat, he had the pull string on the back of his costume,
cool.
and then his kid is probably same age as John Matthew, was dressed up as Buzz Lightyear. And as soon as his kid walked up to the table and he's staring at us because I had that plastic mask on and it was really scary, I looked at him and I went, to infinity and beyond and some candy. And the kid just started laughing. But you could tell when he walked up, he was kind of freaked out. And I'm like, oh, we got to make this kid less scared because he's really cute.
What if the kid was like, I don't get it.
Right?
You're like, wait, what? Yeah, I did see a picture of that. That was really cute.
That was probably of all the costumes. There was a lot of good costumes.
Yeah.
The costumes that I put on the dogs that I posted on the Gone to the Snow Dogs Instagram, the dresses that they wore were actually kids' costumes. 2 girls came up in those costumes and I showed them.
No way.
I showed them. I'm like, look, that's the same dress that my dog wore.
Who wore it better?
The dog.
Okay. Like, who wore that one better? Well, that's good. It sounds like it was a successful Halloween weekend.
It was.
Yes.
They're both starting to wiggle. I'm waiting for which one's gonna wake up first.
Let's get out of here before that happens. So I can edit this thing and I can get it to your guys' ears.
Yay!
It's been good. I've been putting more and more stuff each week on the Patreon, and the Patreon's growing. We're up to 12 subscribers on the Patreon now, so we'll be able to do our shout outs on the Patreon next week. It'll be lots of fun, and I'm happy to see our little community grow. I'll give us a progress report. Our podcast numbers are up still. The arrows are green every week, so that means every week we're topping the weeks before.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the video podcasts have been 1 or 2 ranked every time we put one up versus all our other stuff on there. So thank you guys so much for the support. You're the one giving us the number. We're giving you the content.
Yes.
You're giving us the number. So thank you. The podcast has been really, really well. Pretty soon, the beta just came out for video podcasts on Spotify, but it's not available to us yet. So
Okay.
they're gonna send me an emails on the snail mail, no, on the emails when it's available. So we're just gonna keep expanding. So thank you. It's been really fun doing this. It's been really good. I think this is episode 95.
Holy cow. That's so crazy.
I know, it's great. So again, thank you so much for all the support. It really it goes noticed. It does go noticed.
Yes, thank you guys a lot. And for everybody that shares and retweets and all the things.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm waiting for her to just let out that
No,
that screech you were hearing before we started.
That Wilhelm scream. Ah! All right,
I see her little feet start to move, and I'm like, please don't wake up.
We are done, Jess. Let's clock out, get out of here, and we'll see you guys next week. That'll do it for this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. Listen to us every Wednesday on your favorite music app. Check out the video version of the podcast at youtube.com/RFS. Oh, excuse me, /CC Mouse Podcast. Oh, I almost stole the podcast's mojo and plugged myself.
I mean, you could go to youtube.com/RFSDan and watch Dan eat lots of food, because I tell you what, I watched the apple fritter video today, which if you guys haven't seen it, you should totally go watch it. And now I really want apple fritters.
I'm curious what you'll think about the fritter, because the ratings in that particular video were so polarizing.
I had one.
So polarizing.
I had one when we tried the cinnamon roll. I bought one and we all tried it, and I liked it.
I liked it too.
I did. I liked it, but maybe I don't know. I like simple things. I'm not a
food snob?
That's not the right word. I don't like a lot of, I don't know what the right word is. I like simple things, and I guess it was simple. Of course I could have an apple fritter at the apple farm that's going to taste better than that. But for McDonald's, for a fast food apple fritter, when I just want to have a coffee, who drinks coffee? And a fritter in the morning, I guess. I don't know. I thought it was good.
Okay. Well, you know what? You guys go check it out and leave your opinions, and we'll see who's right and who's wrong.
It's not about who's right or wrong.
Yes,
so we had a list. We had a list
Mm-hmm.
during Halloween. Full disclosure, Greg had this great idea. So for those of you that don't know, guys, the podcast ain't really over. Now I got to tell a story. So
please.
When Halloween started, Greg decided we should have a list, because we carve for 5 days, and at the end of every 5 days, we try to count how many. Hey, don't do that. Hey, stop. Don't. Okay. So anyway, we have a list, and at the end of every 5 days, we're like, how many pumpkins did we get done? And we're out there trying to count how many, and then we try to keep tally, and it never works. We never remember. We never figure it out. So the first day, Greg's like, let's start a list. And everybody can just put a little line and then cross the 5 when they make the 5, and we'll just have a list. And then everybody puts their... It's a great idea, right? It's not a competition. It's not a competition. If it was a competition, I won. Just saying.
Oh, yeah? Did you?
Yeah, but it wasn't.
No, but you won. By how many pumpkins?
By 1.
Oh. Jess.
But it wasn't a competition. But I tell you what, having a list up there with how many pumpkins people did became very motivating, because the first 3 nights, I would have the most pumpkins, and then Jamie and Greg would come downstairs and beat me by 1. And I'm like, God dang it. It's not a competition. But the next night, I would have to get ahead of them again. So, last year, I think Greg carved 4 last year, and Jamie didn't carve any because he was mostly gutting and we had all that extra help. This year, I think he did 11. Wow. I did 18. I finished 18 by myself.
I think I did 6 or 8 last year.
But it's not. It wasn't a competition.
No, but you won.
But if it was, I'd won.
Yeah, you would have won all the money. Yeah, you're so funny, Jess. But good motivation. That's really good motivation. You'll have to see.
It really was.
You'll have to see if you could win the first annual, not a competition, pumpkin carving game.
For next year.
Yes, for next year.
That's what we should call it.
Yeah.
And there are no cash and prizes.
I was worried, right? That seems to work pretty well. I've gotten away with it for 38 weeks now.
Right.
At least you got to 100. I was concerned that you were not going to get to 100. So maybe
Even
that
if
list was the hero.
Even if we wouldn't have got to 100, we'd have been fine, because some of the pumpkins were huge and we barely had space for the 100 that we did have.
You had big pumpkins this year.
Yeah, we did. We had
big pumpkins. Yes. Even when I went to go pick out my pumpkins, I'm like, oh, these are still not as big as the ones that you got.
Yeah. Yeah, we had some big pumpkins.
And pumpkins, I don't know about out there, but pumpkins out here are expensive. They were $3 each or something out here.
I don't know what they were, because Jamie's cousin got them for us this year, so I don't know what they were. But I do know that we had a couple people show up that were farmers that grew pumpkins that said they had a horrible crop and they couldn't believe the nice pumpkins that we got. And I'm like, some little kids grew these in their backyard.
Oh, you killed them. You killed them. They're like, man, forget it. I quit. I'm just going to play Farm Sim 2020.
Right?
Farm Sim 2020 is probably the worst of all the farm sims. Nothing grows in that game. Everything's got crummy returns on it. It's like, man, this game sucks. Like, I'm going to go back to 2019.
Right?
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Same mouse time, same mouse podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Hey, we did a thing and she didn't get squeaky.
No, we did it. I did not think we were going to make it through this.
I didn't
and we
either.
did.